morning, guys. It's been a long time, and boy has this week just started off terrible from the moment I went to leave my driveway. So let me wiggle my way out of here. We are leaving the auto parts store because one of the things that happened upon leaving the house is my van control switch, you know, what turns to blower speed, it's been having issues for a while. I lost low span speed for a while, and medium was sometimes intermittent, sometimes worked, sometimes not. High always worked. Anyways, I was starting the truck up this morning, yesterday morning, whatever day it was, and letting it do its thing, checking everything out, airing up tires. And first thing that happened was I had a massive oil leak that started, and it was the hose clamp to the return line from the turbo. Oil return line was loose, so tighten that up. And while I was doing that, I had to shut the truck off, restarting the truck, and I had no fan speed at all. Couldn't get the blower to go. And before, it was working fine, had air conditioning, everything. So I had to tear into it, pulled that switch out. Long story short, it's bad. Two of the wires melted onto it, don't know how. And yeah, so basically it's bad. So I came out here. We're in Florence, or Muscle Shoals, Alabama. We're heading to go pick up a coil, was it coil block chuck or something like that? Oh lordy lord, I don't know what gear I'm in. There we go. Some block chuck thing. It's a machine piece. We're taking it up to Pennsylvania. Anyways, I called around and found that part here at a little auto store, and so I just picked that up as this thing, and I'm gonna go and get loaded up. All right, guys. So there we go. We just got loaded up. Constellum or whatever it was called back that way. We're on the exit road, and this is what we picked up. So this is called a work roll chock. Has something to do with the coil rolls, whatever. Originally, I'm glad it's sitting like this, because originally they're supposed to sit upwards right here, and that's a 30-inch by 30-inch base. And this thing weighs about 16,000 pounds, roughly. And that's a lot of weight in a small area. So they were able to tilt it onto its side. One thing that I did not think of when I pulled out this block of wood, I should have gotten my shorter dunnage. As you can see how my chain has to run over this wood. I'm not too worried about it, but I would have not wanted that to happen. But that's okay. I didn't notice that until I was throwing the chains. By then the crane was long gone. But basically, it's a big chunk of metal. The inside of it is hollow, as you can see. So I got 4 chains coming around each corner, and then I got 2 going over the top sections here. And I think it does pretty good. So again, it is just shy of 16,000 pounds. Actually, no, it was 16.9, so it's just shy of 17,000 pounds. But we're taking it up to Pennsylvania. So it's going up to, what is that, Pleasantville, Pennsylvania. And we'll drop that off probably end of the day tomorrow, assuming all goes well. I think it will. So step back real quick, get a whole look at the truck again. So real quick, I'm not gonna pop the hood right now. I'll do that at the end of the day to show you. But if I shove the camera down in here, you should see an airbag. So that's the new airbags up front. There's more details about that I'll have to talk about. We ended up just removing 1 leaf spring, so there's still 2 leaf springs in there. I am not 100% a fan of that. I wanted to bring it down to 1, but there's some reasons for that, and maybe we'll do that later. But I'll talk about that more later. But for now, like you saw earlier, I had gotten that knob So I'm gonna try to fix my AC, my just air in general, before I get out on the road. And then yeah, so I'll talk to you guys here a little bit later. Alright, good evening. I don't know if you can hear it right now. I know once I walk around to the front of this truck, it's going to be really apparent. There's a Volvo about 10 spaces over. I really hope he's just doing regen or something, but his engine fan is unbelievably loud. I mean, it's downright annoying. Anyways, I started this week terribly. The moment I started the truck at the house, everything just hit the fan. The stuff hit the fan. And I got some footage of everything, but I don't know what all I'm including because it was a mess. And anyways, we're in Pennsylvania. I forget where we're at. We're off of 80. And I've been having issues with the truck. I just had an alignment done. So I know they told me the toe on the front axle was off by a 1/4 inch and the toe on the rear axle was off by 1/2 inch facing the opposite direction. So they were basically, the truck was crab walking down the road. Probably not very noticeable, but it was. So hopefully that's going to fix my tire wear issues. Knowing that, I can now safely go out and buy new rear tires because these are pretty much shot. I mean, there's still some life on them, but they're really uneven. I got a lot of cupping marks all over the place. This one here is worn pretty flat across here, but not so much up here. Luckily, with it being, you know, this far back on the truck, I don't feel it, but I know it's probably bouncing around a little bit. The front tires, talked to you guys about it before, they were bad. I went and got them trued. So they took them down to about 60 or 70% life. and but they're now round again, which is a big difference. So I'll open the hood. There's that Volvo making all that noise. But over here. So I got the tires true. They're round again. Yeah, they're round again. That's great. So obviously, I think you guys briefly saw it. This is our new airbag. Right now they're pretty deflated at the moment. There's 2 leaf springs in here. Originally the truck was 3, and my mechanic, he knows nothing of front air ride setups, and he was kind of uncomfortable with taking 2 leaf springs out like I wanted and just running 1 leaf. So for now, we got 2 in there. It's definitely smoother than what it was, but because of that, I can't run too much air in that airbag, or else I'm just right back to where I was before. So I think I'm gonna roll with it for a while, but I think what I'm gonna do next is that bottom leaf spring, it curls up and it attaches up here, but it doesn't attach to anything at the rear. Or is it the other way around? I don't know. I think it's the rear. It doesn't attach to anything up here. So I might cut half of it off and we'll run a half spring, so 1.5 springs. We might do that and see what that feels like. But regardless, the truck rides a little bit smoother than what it did before. Now, on to the fun stuff. I have not talked about this one yet. Coming into Louisville, after I got loaded up with that big steel thing, whatever you want to call it, the truck started losing power. And at first, I had just gotten fuel, and I thought that maybe I clogged the fuel filters or whatever. But I noticed more and more as I drove that it wasn't acting like a fuel filter issue. So basically what the truck would do is, if I accelerate past a certain like load, like if the engine has like 60% load or something on it, it'll throw a check engine light for low fuel rail pressure, and it'll go into what almost feels like a D rate. I would say I'd lose probably about 50% of my power or whatever. Maybe not that much, because I could still maintain 70. It's just, if I got shown a hill when I was loaded like that, I would lose speed quite easily. So it would do that. But if I come off of the throttle and coast for about 5 seconds, the check engine light would go away. And then you could get back on the throttle for about 3 seconds, and then it'll come back in. But in that 3 seconds without the check engine light, the truck ran fine. So I talked to my mechanic, and we think that it's possibly the fuel pressure relief valve. And I've been noticing the truck will have little, I would call them hiccups every once in a while in the past, where I'd just be driving and you just feel it hiccup for a second. And that's what he was thinking it is. Well, as of this point, we think it completely failed. So I got the load dropped off. Obviously, bed's empty, nothing's on it. I got the load dropped off, no problem. And when I went to leave to come and get the tires aligned, the truck was driving fine. It wasn't having issues, which made the whole issue even weirder. Anyways, to keep a long story short, there was a Kenworth dealership right next to the shop that I went to. They had that release valve, so I picked it up, and that shop is gonna put it in for me tomorrow morning. So hopefully that'll fix the issue. When I left the Kenworth shop and was coming back up the freeway though, that was the first time I was really able to let the truck eat, like being empty. And climbing a hill at like full throttle, getting up to 70 miles an hour, it finally started to break up and it threw the check engine light. So the issue's still there. It's just not as prominent when empty. I'm guessing it needs a decent load to trip there or whatever. But hopefully that'll fix the issue. Anyways, this is turning into a long thing that doesn't need to be long. We're getting there. Basically, the moment I turned the key when I went to leave, I had an oil leak, I had my AC, the blower motor didn't work, and then I get loaded up and I have fuel issues, and then the alignment's out of whack. And it's like, I took a vacation not knowing that I'm taking a vacation from my problems. Ugh. So whatever, we're getting there. Everything's coming back on track. Hopefully the fuel issue will be sorted out tomorrow and I could really truly work, because right now I need to make that money. I've been spending way too much of it right now. So that's the deal. We'll get that fixed in the morning, find ourselves a load, and get back at it full time. Oh, and then we'll get new tires, probably end of this week or next week. New rear tires. So anyways, that's it.